Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope you're still enjoying your Monday, and yeah, we've got a lot to talk about in this video. This is the video that, talking through the other ones today, that this was the main one in terms of big updates. You know, obviously through the day we've had some nice updates and some decent ones here and there, but this is an incoming and probably you'll find the biggest move that we'll do this summer from now onwards. Obviously, Matters might be the biggest move in your eyes, but this will probably end up being the biggest move monetarily wise if it was to come off. So yes, we are talking about Brennan Johnson and really the updates around that's the majority of the situation. There's a slight little side note of a Davinson Sanchez update as well in regards to kind of being a part of this deal. And to give you a bit of an update around as to why this looks like it's going to be the main thing, right? So let's jump in. I've got plenty of different sources sort of talking about Brennan Johnson as to what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, let me find it. I think it was Simon Jones. No, sorry, Paul O'Keefe. That's what I'm starting with first. So I've stumbled already out of the gates. So this was yesterday. And yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. It was about mid-afternoon, and I thought, I like Paul, he's good stuff, let's see if someone else jumps on the bandwagon, and they all did. So he said that Tottenham and Forest are now in direct contact to see if a deal can be reached with Brennan Johnson. There's a possibility Davinson Sanchez could be used in any deal, but it's early stages in talks. Right? So we kind of expected there's going to be talks with Brennan Johnson and Spurs and what have you. It's nothing too shocking. Don't get me wrong, we've opened talks, that's a start. We've made a big start there. Obviously, personal terms won't be an issue. So we're not worried about that side of the deal. And we all know, because I spoke about it before, Brennan Johnson wants Spurs, right? So that, tickly boo, everything's good to go. It's about how we deal with Forest. And after the Raya situation, I don't know if the contacts are all that strong. No, sorry, not Raya. Being a fool, but with Spence in last summer, I don't know how the contacts are. You know, are they all that strong? You know. Then Romano kind of added a little bit and said that Tottenham are prepared to approach Nottingham Forest with Brennan Johnson this week. Ange Postecoglou has approved this potential move. So that's a key part. Ange has approved the move, which shows it's an Ange kind of signing. And this can still be a database signing, but still be expensive. There's the two can still merge together. But the key part is Ange wants him. It doesn't mean it's a Levy signing or, a Paratici signing or a Scott Munn signing. If Ange wants him, then it's an Ange signing. Now, don't get me wrong. If it fits with the other guys, then happy days. Everyone's on the same wavelength. But that's a good start. And then Simon Jones in the Mail Sport said that talks are ongoing between Spurs and Nottingham Forest over a deal for Brennan Johnson with a view to completing a deal before the window shuts. He has something else to say about another player, which I'm just going to leave off for just a second. Okay, so let's talk about Brennan Johnson before I talk about any other sort of gossip around or rumour or report around Brennan Johnson. There's a real mixed bag with, I'm not going to talk about the whole of the Spurs fan base. I'm going to talk about us as a community. There's a mixed bag. I would say the majority of us like Brennan Johnson. I think a few of us love Brennan Johnson. I think there's a few of us that don't really rate Brennan Johnson. I think that's quite a fair thing to say between yourself and I. What I would add to that is I think the people that do like Brennan Johnson then kind of start to go a bit iffy when they start to see potential value of up to 50 million. Then they start to go a bit iffy around it. I'm still kind of probably just about liking him, but I am getting really iffy. As soon as that number goes past that 5 into a 5-1, a 5-2 into a 51, 52 million, my like is not going to be there as much anymore because that's a lot of money to be spending on a guy who, I'd say he had a good season. Leading into the World Cup, it wasn't setting the world alight. Post-World Cup, yeah, really solid. And don't know if he had a full season like that, I probably would go, he's probably about right. Obviously got talent, and in the right system with the right style of manager, with the right players around him, he probably is going to get a lot more one-on-one space to run at defenders. Whereas at Forest sometimes, and I have seen it, especially Arsenal, they're pinned back so much that they're hoofing the ball long, and that's not his game. He's not a hold-up player. He's a player that gets him in space and lets him run with it. That's his whole game. So in an Ange system, yes, absolutely suits an Ange system. The whole sticking point is how much it's going to cost. So Sky Sports put out that Spurs want to bring in a right-sided forward regardless of outgoing. So we're talking about how outgoings are such a key component to this window, and it still is. I'm not going to deny that. This window will never be above a 6 out of 10 for me unless we start shifting players out the door. And I'm not talking about 2 or 3. We're talking about at least 4 or 5, potentially 6. For me, I'd like that to be a higher number, but we've got to be a little bit more realistic with that. But there are 3 options for the wide position, and Brennan Johnson seems to be the main option. You know, they've talked about Ansu Fati and Johan Bakayoko, but it does kind of look like this is going to be the guy. If anyone's going to be it, it's him. Because Fabrizio Romano put out that he is considered one of the top options on their list for the remainder of the window. But something very key to all of this came out, and it came out about 10 minutes before I started recording this, which is why I'm so glad I didn't pre-record this one. And it came out that, let me find it for you so you have a bit of an idea, that Nottingham Forest decided to reject a formal bid from Brentford for Brennan Johnson. The proposal was, listen in carefully, the proposal was worth 43 million plus add-ons and sell-on clause. And that's not enough for Forest to give it the green light. Tottenham are still interested and had contacts to sign Johnson. So, Johnson is probably not going to be that kind of guy to force a move, right? So this is very much a very amicable departure. Forest are probably going to want an answer within the next sort of few days. So it gives them at least a few days to sort out replacements to come in, because obviously he's such a key part of their team. But 43 million plus add-ons plus a sell-on clause. That's a lot. That's a big offer. We're talking about an offer that's worth 50 million, then a sell-on that you might get. Let's say you sell them for 40 million and you're giving up 20% to Brentford. We're talking about a deal that's nearly 60 million pounds. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. I mean, people talk about Richarlison being a lot of money, but Richarlison had been in the Premier League for years and did it across multiple positions for years. I don't know. I'm starting to get a bit iffy on it. I don't know what you boys think, or girls, either one of you. But I know you'll tell me, and that's what I'm happy to see. I really hope you do tell me as well, because I think this is such a big deal that I do want to see, sort of get an idea from all of you guys on this. But to give you an update, Chelsea have called their interest on Brennan Johnson purely for how much it's going to cost. So Chelsea about the running, it'll be Brentford and Spurs. Obviously, I know he'll pick Spurs, but it doesn't mean he will go to Spurs. There's a sticking point. I'm sitting on the fence. I think it's 50-50. He does come and doesn't come. It really depends on that fee and what it comes down to. And the reason why I held off a little bit from Simon Jones in the Mail Sport, because he's been really on this deal, and I'm going to give him kudos for it. He also said that Spurs remain in talks with Tosin Adarabioyo, who has an offer from Monaco. And there was reports that, you know, they'd started up talks, Monaco and Fulham again, around Tosin Adarabioyo. Let's wait and see on that one. I'm not going to talk about that because I think people get bored of that sort of deal. Let's just wait and see about that. But my guess is he still goes to Monaco. We keep Dyer. I'm sorry, I don't know if that ruins your day, but I do think that. I just think Ange's not going to get rid of centre-halves for no reason. Now, I hope it would be if you're going to keep Japhet Tanganga, he can be a backup centre-half. Dyer moves away, right? Tanganga has a value, has a market, but also has an upside. He can get better, whereas I think Dyer's reached his pinnacle, his best, and I think it was under Conte, not last season, the season before, when everyone thought he was actually a decent centre-half. So we shall see. We don't know. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comments section around this whole Brennan Johnson deal. Would you say 50 million was a good deal for you? This has been one of those players that gets a lot of sort of commentary from you guys, and I'm always really keen to have that conversation back with you, because I think it's such a big deal. It's such a lot of money. Do you think it's worth it? You let me know, all right? Subscribe to the channel if you are new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I will see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.